The hungry need to be fed. The homeless need to be housed. And as Christians, we must engage in that ministry. That is the way of Christ. We tend to spiritualize the miracle stories of Jesus, perhaps because we don't really believe in miracles, so we look for a hidden spiritual message instead. We read of a blind man being given back his sight, and we reflect on our own spiritual blindness. We read of a leper being made clean, and we think about our own need for spiritual cleansing. We read of Jesus raising people from the dead, and we ponder our own need for spiritual resurrection. It's true that these stories work on many different levels, but we mustn't lose sight of the importance of the stories as they stand. There's a story in Mark 8 in which Jesus feeds a crowd of people who've been with him for 3 days without eating. There were 4,000 of them, and Jesus used 7 loaves and a few small fish, and we're told that they all ate until they were content, and there was still lots left over. So when we read about Jesus feeding the 4,000, we ask a very simple question. Why did Jesus feed them? And the answer is equally simple. Because they were hungry. We don't need to spiritualize that. If we want to follow in the footsteps of Jesus, we need to allow our motivations to mirror his and to engage with meeting the needs of the marginalized. The hungry need to be fed. The homeless need to be housed. And as Christians, we must engage in that ministry. That is the way of Christ. In this story from Mark 8, the concern of Jesus is very clear. The people were hungry and they needed feeding, so he fed them. As Christians, we need to have that same awareness. Who are the hungry? We must feed them. Who are the cold? We must warm them. Who are the oppressed? We must work for their freedom. This is not an added extra for us as Christians. It's at the heart of our faith. So use this passage to lead you into self-reflection. Have you seen the needs of the world around you? If not, do you need to open your eyes wider? And if you have seen the needs, what are you doing to meet them? The compassionate Christ calls you into action. Compassion is the way of Christ. Compassion is the way of Christian discipleship. So why should you care for those in need? Quite simply, because Jesus did.